This episode is brought to you by VW Trends Magazine. Check them out for all the latest trends in the VW scene. You can subscribe to the magazine at VWTrendsMagazine.com.
Good morning and welcome to the show. My name is Sean Smith.
And my name is Prescott Phillips, and this is Brew City Bug Talk.
Welcome back to the show. How's it going today, Prescott?
It's going really good. We're going to have fun today.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good show. So we got anything coming up this weekend?
Well, tomorrow, a bunch of us are going to Elkhorn High School for their little car show. I guess, what is it, the shop class?
Yeah. So it's
teacher?
actually really cool. The shop teacher, who's a big Volkswagen fan, actually his shop class students put on this show. They do everything for it. They do all the advertising. They run the show. They organize it. They get the sponsors. And they do all the
we've
judging.
never been to this, right?
I went last year. So
Did you?
I was at World of Wheels last year with the club. And the girl she was like the president of the shop class. She actually reached out to me and she was like, my shop teacher's a big Volkswagen fan. She was like, if you or some of your members could get down there, it'd be great.
Well,
so
cool. I like going to new shows. You know?
I like anything we can do to support the younger generation. I'm all about
So that's the plan tomorrow. What time are we going?
It's going to be an early one. We got to meet. Everybody's meeting at like between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, and then we're going to carpool. We're all going to like parade down there so we can look like we're representing.
Yeah, we're repping. All right, sounds great.
So who do we have in the studio today?
We have a special guest in the studio.
Another special guest in the studio.
And they're actually in this. It's not remote this time. We're actually in the studio.
All the way from
South Carolina.
South Carolina. What's this gentleman's name?
This gentleman is Scott Sain.
I'm glad you
introduce yourself, Scott.
Hey everybody, Scott Sain from Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston, yeah.
I'm glad you said his name. I keep messing up your last name, so I didn't want to mess it up.
It's pretty easy.
That's
it's got 4 letters.
Well, I only met him maybe 20 minutes ago. So.
Well, Scott, why don't you tell us why you're here?
Yeah.
Well, I DJ for a living out of Charleston, and we happen to have a wedding right next to Prescott, so
right next door, right down the road, actually.
And it's great that I had sent you my engine parts last September, and it worked out great.
Well, let's talk about that in a little bit. Why don't you tell our listeners who you are and what your claim to fame is, and that kind of thing.
Well, let's start with who are you?
Who are you?
I am
What are you doing here?
I am a musician out of Charleston, and I had a band for 20 years, ended up rolling into a DJ when I retired the band in 2018, the very last day of 2018, and it keeps me busy as can be. I got into Volkswagens when I was a kid, and...
Well, let's touch on that. How old were you when you first said Volkswagens are what I want to drive?
Well, I don't know that it was that as much as we bought a car for $70. And
it's always the price tag.
Yeah.
That's
what hooked us.
That'll hook you. It's the cheapest thing on the road.
What year would you say this is about?
85.
85.
Yeah.
Okay. See.
So what was this thing?
It was a 70s. Well, there were 2 of them.
Oh,
two
for one deal?
Yep, 2 for 1. 70s standard Beetles from Art Gaber, and he was the neighborhood drunk, and he was he was so old to me back then in 85.
Yeah,
and
he was what, like 35?
Probably. He probably was. He had the 2 cars sitting in the back of his house, and he had quit driving them. He said, you can have them for $200, right? Both of them. So one was auto stick, one was standard.
They both ran?
Both ran. Drove the standard one. It had this weird noise on the whole drive. Came back. And I was like, weird grinding noise. He goes, oh yeah, the key doesn't turn back. Y'all.
That was the starter.
You had the starter on for the drive. So he's like, I'll take $40 off the price.
Oh, there you
or whatever
go.
it was he took off. That ended up making them $60. So it ended up making them $70 each.
Wow. Nice. And so this was, how old were you then?
15.
15. Mm-hmm. So these were your high school cars?
Yep. So I took it home, made one out of the 2.
Sure.
Actually found the bill of sale the other day that my mom kept. Because I never titled the second one.
Oh,
from
the
him,
dude.
from Art, right?
Okay, yeah.
So never titled the second one. So I still have the bill of sale with everything on it,
with his handwriting.
Yeah,
on there. Sold as is.
Right. So I made one out of the 2. painted it myself. Built a nice little 1835.
Oh man!
I was running a C45 cam back then, and that was
you were the fastest thing on the planet then.
And Doug Adams, I don't remember if you remember Doug out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. He raced forever. He had A&B Imports in Rock Hill, and I got transmission gear, so I had tight third and fourth. Nobody had that.
Oh yeah, unfreewayable.
Yeah, exactly. Still did though.
You were
6,000 RPMs on the freeway.
I didn't care.
Screaming.
Driving it to racetracks and racing it, driving it home.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And just had the most fun. It would outrun any Firebird, Camaro, IROC back in those days.
Back in those days, the 5-liter Mustangs were fair game. We saw a 5-liter Mustang. We were racing that sucker.
Yeah, it was 190 horsepower.
Yeah, because we were gonna just beat his ass.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah. So that was high school.
Yeah.
What year was this?
So 85, 86.
85,
so I kept it till I graduated in 88 and I sold it then. And so it was light purple with flames on the front, silver flames, right? So I was trying to do something different growing up, and you had to be a pretty strong man to drive a light purple bug around a bunch of rednecks.
So did you take it to prom?
No, I don't think I did. I think
He always asked everybody that. Was that the prom car?
I took my grandmother's Lincoln back then.
Okay.
She let me drive it.
Oh yeah, because you wanted to
impress.
Extracurricular activities in the back seat.
Never happened.
You got no room in the Beetle for that. I mean, it's a tight squeeze in there.
Yeah. You got personal. How many Volkswagens have you actually owned?
I mean, there's no way I could count that. It's
one of those deals. Yeah, a lot of people are like that. Yeah, it's hundreds. Some people keep track. I kept track for a little while, and then once it got past 50, it's like,
no way.
Yeah, why?
So in my senior year, maybe I built a 64 Carmen Ghia, and I took that to college and sold my bug. I ended up selling that because it just wasn't practical.
Oh, sure.
So sold that, finished college, and then I got back into it a little bit later. Got another Carmen Ghia in 94. I bought another Carmen Ghia.
What year Carmen Ghia?
A 70. I still have it.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean's got a Ghia.
Yeah, I got a 72 Ghia that I've been
it's
slowly
rusty.
working. It is.
Holy cow.
It was some guy parked. It was a family car. They driven the Wisconsin winters.
I've parted out better cars.
Yeah. So I have 3 Ghias. That is one of my loves.
Okay.
So I bought the 70 from a lady. She was like, I was like,
That's
what do you?
the green one?
No, that's my third one.
Okay.
It's my silver Roadster one. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Silver
so
Roadster,
it's topless now.
Yeah.
She was an older lady, had it on James Island, and I said, what do you want for it? She goes, well, what do you give me for it? And I was like, $12.50. She goes, that's fine. And later when she was signing the paperwork, she goes, my son told me just to take whatever anybody offered.
Oh my God.
Can we renegotiate?
Yeah. Can I make it $500?
How's $300 now? I drove that for years. Then I restored it and painted
This makes Sean mad. The numbers we are.
I bitch about this on every podcast just because I got into this when you got to sell a house in order to afford a Beetle or something like that. It's the prices right now.
And here we are buying
so ridiculous.
We're buying running cars for under
$70.
Right. And driving them. So
driving them.
Yeah, and I'm buying these rusty ass cars for $2,000. I got a Porsche 914 that I've been working on, and it just.
Oh, he blew me up yesterday. He goes, "It's so rusty." I'm like, it's really not that rusty.
The brakes, the brake lights weren't working, so I started figuring out that problem. Found out, okay, the brake light switch was just bad, so I adjusted the switch. Well, then I go to hit the brake pedal, and the whole pedal's moving, and so I pull back some of the carpeting and stuff. There's a big hole in the floor, so I'm like, oh great. So the brakes are fixed, but now I got a Flintstone car.
Yeah.
The can of worms that we all find.
Yep.
What do you have in your stable now? You said 3 Ghias.
Yeah, I've got the 70 Ghia. I've got a second 70 Ghia that still has the top. I didn't sawzall that one off.
Didn't chop that one.
Yeah, that one's real cool. Orange, original color, and I did everything to it new except the paint. So it's drivable. You don't worry about it. Right?
Yeah, like
yours.
Like a couple cars I have on my 59 is just the worst paint job ever.
Right. And you don't worry about it. Right?
Yeah. So another shopping cart dent. Okay, whatever.
My 65 Ghia, we built. I think I built that in 16, so 8 years ago. It's pan off. We did everything at my house, and it's a turbo fuel injected street car, and it is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who did your fuel injection? Because we just had
Mario from Dub Shop on.
And
he's a good friend
specializes in fuel injection, so I didn't know if maybe
and it's the other end of the country.
Yeah, right.
You know,
CB. I'm using the CB Gen 4 kit.
Okay.
And my buddy Jason Vance is just a wizard with all of that stuff. And it's a single throttle body off of a 75 fuel injected bug. You know, just the way he set it all up. Intercooled, it's just a blast to drive. I mean, a 10-second quarter-mile car that
you drive around
anywhere,
pump gas,
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. So you got that, and you got your orange Beetle.
I sold the orange Beetle years ago when I started building this new one that we just finished. Okay. So Chris Schaefer in Pennsylvania has that one now.
Yeah,
what was that one?
Car.
66 turbo slammed Beetle.
Really?
It was awesome, and I drove it for 12 years and won.
You won
lots
so much.
of races. And Paradise built the engine for me when I bought the car. Never touched it for like 12 years.
Right. Yeah.
And just won.
See, I thought you still had that car.
No, so
I haven't seen it in a while, but
that's why, because he sold it.
When I started building the 64 that I just finished.
Now that orange car was ASA legal,
yes,
right?
Yep.
So why don't you explain to our listeners what ASA is?
So Air Cooled Streetcar Association. We have to be street legal, tagged and insured on DOT tires, make a cruise, and then drag race.
And then drag race.
You know, when we first started, there were 6-second cars, high sixes. The
eighth
NAs,
mile stuff.
Yeah, 8th mile. The NA guys are getting close to the sixes.
Yeah.
And then
NA car running 750.
Yeah, that's
in street trim is
awesome.
Is like Chuck's car is around in that.
Right.
He's into 750.
When Anthony out of Virginia, he was the very first one to get in the sixes, like 697 or something, and we were just over the moon. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Brad is running 590s in his street car.
Yeah. Just
these
ruining
598 miles.
8 mile.
Okay.
And
at
120 something. I think,
right, 120 or something.
So James Carroll is right there with him now, and Jason Goodyear, and it's unbelievable where they're taking this street legal Volkswagen bug.
So how many cars do you think are ASA legal on the East Coast there?
I think we have a lot. You know, we've had 16, 18 at an event before.
That's amazing.
So, you know, to get 8, 12 at a show is really good.
Yeah, it's like I race pro stock, and it's a struggle to get 8 cars.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and these 8 cars have to come from every corner of the country.
Yeah.
You know, me, Texas.
Well, JD has 15 of them in his garage.
Yeah, he has at least 3 of them there, 4 of them that run.
Bring some out, JD.
yeah, put some people in them.
He's only got one ass. How many cars do you need?
Well, and his ass doesn't even fit in any of them anymore.
Almighty.
Do I need to
Sorry,
edit that
JD.
out? I don't know.
Facts are facts.
Oh, you said facts.
I said facts. Right. Yeah, no, I love you, JD.
So tell us a little bit about this event that you run.
In around 2005, I decided I wanted to get back in the drag races. So back to my high school car, I did drag race it and won events in Farmington, you know, back in the mid 80s. I was having a blast, right? And it was running 9 seconds, and I thought that was the fastest car in the world.
9 seconds, the quarter mile, 8th mile. Okay, all right. I get so confused between you guys talk this 8th mile stuff.
Most of the East Coast stuff is 8th mile.
Yeah, there's no reason to go any further than that. So
your race was already won.
Yeah, I wanted to get back into racing. Found a car, built it using Mike Gagner out of North Carolina. He and David Wagner helped me build this little pro car, right? You know, 750 car with a 1915. Was racing on the East Coast with it, having fun and winning and enjoying it. All the races were in North Carolina or Georgia. Right. So I asked one of the promoters, hey, would you do anything in South Carolina? And that did not go over well. I just decided one day, this is 2009, I was like, hey, maybe I throw something together at our local track just for the guys right around South Carolina so we don't have to drive. Made a post about it. You know, this is back when we had like...
Yeah, what year was this? This is
2009.
Okay.
What were the forums we were using back then? It was like Ultimate Air Cooled and...
Ultimate Air Cooled.
I can't remember what the other one was, but...
Yeah.
Made a post on there, said, hey, I'm going to do a drag race. Somebody in North Carolina says, well, I'll come to that. And then the Florida guy says, well, we'll come up for that.
Sure.
And then it reaches out to some of the ECPRA guys, say, hey, can we do pro stock there? And I was like, well, I don't know what that is, but sure.
ECPRA is what I am in. It's
right.
East Coast.
East
Coast PRA.
Right. All of a sudden, I get a message from John Schweers in California. He's like, hey, my wife's got a friend in North Carolina. We'll bring the Jaeger bug over. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. This is blowing up.
So the guys in Colorado, you remember Eric with with Snoopy, and John Jones from Custom Coach Works. They came, and all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute, this is an event that
Now it's
that I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah. I've never done this before.
I was like, let me get a website. So I go type in, and I'm gonna get Drag Night and put that together, and I'm getting ready to buy the Drag Night URL, and I was like, wait a minute, Drag Night. That might get us a different client.
Yeah, you might want to put VW.
Yeah, let me put VW on the front. So I did that. It was at a small track in South Carolina. I didn't show up till like 11 o'clock. We went to Waffle House on the way there. As the promoter, I'm not even there yet because the gates weren't opening, I think, till 12 or something.
Right.
So I get there at 11 something. We had eaten thousands of calories at Waffle House, and walk in, and there's these trailers and cars and people. I had no idea.
Now, is this at Orangeburg?
No, this was the one before that. This was, we were right outside of Orangeburg, probably an hour away.
Okay.
It was a little smaller track.
Than Orangeburg.
Yeah. Yeah. We got there and could not believe it. Like, the Paradise guys came and they brought, what was the guy from Florida that had the stretched new Beetle? Fisher buggies. Fisher's car came from California. Paradise delivered it over, and we did USE, which is similar to ASA, Unlimited Street East.
Okay.
Troy brought the cars, and I think I ended up winning that somehow in my orange car. It was me and Gene Cook, and Gene got loose at the track because the track was prepped like your driveway.
Yeah.
So I beat Gene for that, and then we were doing a best of 3 grudge race with John.
Now
John
my
Jones.
driveway can get pretty sticky.
So not as nice as your driveway.
Yeah. Depending on how much prep I do.
All right, don't take offense about the driveway.
Yeah. If I scrape it and drag it, it'll be fine.
Well, we'll do that after this. So anyway, it just blew up, and we went till 4:40 in the morning, and one of the big promises we had made was to feed everybody at the end, right?
Yeah,
and my buddy's putting his grill up at 4 o'clock, and I was like, Chad, there's a
feed
line of 100 people standing here waiting on your hot dogs, and he's like, well, take it back out. And I remember, I think I laid down at 5:32, and a friend had brought me a motorhome to stay in.
So you guys raced till 4 o'clock in the
But
morning.
you got to understand, this is South Carolina. That's the coolest part of the day.
We had a blast.
So what time did you start at?
I think we opened the gates at noon, maybe.
Wow, that is a long day of racing.
So that's when I met the Picaros out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, complete idiots. But the dad, Stephen Sr. and Scott and Stephen Jr. were pitted next to me. No shirts the entire time they were there.
Sure.
Tiny cut off blue jean shorts.
Hillbillies.
Illegal. And they were beside me fighting all day. And it was the funniest thing. I loved it. I was like, who are these hicks?
Flicking cigarettes at each other.
Exactly. So I met so many people there, and that started it for me. So
What was the purse? Like, what was the prize? Like,
I paid out probably pretty good money from what I remember.
say, what's keeping guys till 4 in the morning racing? I mean, that's crazy.
I think it was a night event on a Saturday. Everything that we did prior was Sunday afternoon. You got to get home, right?
Yeah, right. And plus, it's blazing hot.
Right. Yeah. So we
Sweaty.
were just having a ball.
Really?
Wow.
It's just, there must have been
So that was the first one. This is 2007. 9.
Yeah.
Okay, 9. It just blew up from there and just kept. Now, when did you move to Orangeburg?
the next one. So the track, which was in Greeleyville, South Carolina, the track closed.
Okay.
Didn't make it. So
Didn't make it,
I
right.
went to Orangeburg, which to me that was like going to Indianapolis.
Right.
I thought that was the best
I
track in the world.
make fun of it, but that's actually pretty nice. They have a nice tower.
Right.
Nice facility.
So I went to the owners and I said, "Hey, I did an event over here at Midway, and they closed, and I need to do it again because we
Now,
had so much
Orangeburg
fun."
is called what? South Carolina Motorsports
Motorplex.
Park?
Motorplex now.
Okay.
So it was Orangeburg Drag Strip before that,
Right.
And had been there for years.
Right.
Hot VWs had come and done an article, so I had
on your first,
Very first
on the
one,
first
which
one at the other track.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
which like they would never do that, but they came over.
They came,
had a great article, and I showed it to them, and she was like, "Sure, come on over." So that was my very first one in 2010, and again, Calabrese, Paradise, Roger Crawford, all of them came, and it kicked off from there, and we were now at a nicer track, nicer facilities,
and you put on a pretty decent show. I mean, you're
decent. Sounds good, thank you.
decent. No, I'm
Way to
being-
insult the guest.
Yeah. No, I mean
It was
it's
okay by my
Yeah, it was. It was.
I do what I can do.
But I mean, it's probably the premier East Coast Volkswagen event of the year.
Well, it is just fun for me, and I don't do it to make money. That was never my intention. I'm a racer. I had these cars that I wanted to race, So I put on an event.
Just to race your own cars.
Right. So,
but your events, you give away cars.
Yeah.
And cars, multiple cars.
Right.
Like more than one.
The one we gave away in April, that 65 Bug, we totally restored it. I painted it.
Yeah. It was a
New
beautiful
engine.
car.
Yeah, so just recently, that was April
12/13, I think was the date.
12/13. I saw the flyers that you had posted for it. You built what year was the Bug?
65.
A 65. Did you do the pan off or
Did not take? It didn't need to do that. So
I just remember it. You talked about doing the body work on it, and you had pictures of it in the
it was
shop.
very similar to a pan off. What we call it a tape off.
Okay.
It doesn't need to come off the pan.
But brand new paint job on it. Did you build the motor on there?
So Bob Hill, who races with us, Papa's Play Toy, he had built the engine for another project. So I had that nice little 1641. So
now all the cars you give away are really nice cars.
This thing was a quality vehicle that you were.
It's not like something I would give away.
And so you were doing like a raffle, which was you could buy a ticket for
$60.
$60. So a $60 ticket could have gotten you a car.
It did get somebody.
It did get every
time.
What year did I go to your show?
I don't know.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I don't remember.
I was married then, so it must have been a while.
Yeah.
It was, and I bought a ticket for the car, and I missed it by one freaking number.
Oh my god!
It was brutal, and it was like a '59 Beetle.
Oh yeah, with the rag top with the 23.
With the big motor and everything. I'm like, I want this car. So
that was a good car.
That was a great car, but that year you only gave away one car.
Yeah.
But in years past, you've given away two cars.
I've done two. Yeah, this past November for my Germanaire show, which we'll talk about that. I gave away one ticket, 2 cars. So the first person,
double the chance. Basically.
The first person got pulled out. You don't have to be present to win, but the second one I made it that you had to be present.
Right.
So pulled the first one out. She's standing right there. She won, and she took the 70 Beetle.
You didn't put the ticket back in the pile, then?
No. She could only win one. That was
but I said one ticket, 2 cars. I was like,
dang.
Right? I asked her. I was like, "Hey, you won the car. Draw the next ticket." So she pulled it out, and she pulled Lee Street, who races with us.
Right?
He's standing right there. He won the Baja. You could pick either one that you wanted.
So then there was another $500 or something, was it?
So this was this year.
This year there was
somebody donated $500, and which to me, the draw of the car is, yes, I want somebody to win a car, but I'd love for you to be there when somebody is there and that crowd gets to see the reality.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it's awesome. So that was kind of a perk. If you're there, you also get $500. But if you weren't there, we just keep drawing tickets till somebody's standing there, got $500.
And
you get the $500 cash.
Yeah. All right. So the person who won the car, were they there?
They had been at the race. They had to go home and take care of their kids.
Oh my God!
So I called him on speakerphone and everybody could hear it. And he was so excited, and he's a Volkswagen guy.
So turn around, come back.
He got it the next day.
Oh, okay.
He came and drove it home. And here's what I told him on the phone. I was like, "Hey, dude, I took the tank out, cleaned it. I probably put 2 gallons in it. It needs gas. No problem." Calls me the next day. We ran out of gas 6 miles from the track. So I told you it needed gas. I'm not saying I told you.
What's the guy's name?
Mike Smith.
No,
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Congratulations, Will Smith. That was an awesome car. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
You should have put gas in it, damn it.
Yeah.
So now this year you had a little issue with the weather.
No. The issue was that it was perfect because we moved it to April.
Oh, okay.
Last July we had a rain out.
Oh, right. When was rained out?
Right. So we had a rain out in July.
It rained a year I was there too.
It rains a lot in July.
Why is
so
that?
that led me to an idea. In November, when we did Germanaire this past November, absolutely perfect weather, perfect crowd, and I was standing at the
November around here would be worthless.
Oh, we're in short sleeve shirts and having a blast all night. Yeah. So I'm sitting there talking to the track manager, Crystal, and I said, "Crystal, I've thought about this, and I'm thinking about 2025 moving it to April or March or April. Be the first event of the year."
Sure.
And there's no other events going on. She said, "Well, why wait a year?" She goes, "I probably have something next April." And I was like, "Well, I don't know if I have enough time to prep it." She sends me a message the next day that she had a couple dates open, and I said, "Let's do it. I've got 5 months.
Yeah.
Let's jump on it right now." And we did. One of the best turnouts I've had was this past year. The weather was perfect. Had it great. Richie Webb came from England with his turbo streetcar.
The one car, he keeps one car here.
Right.
And one car in England, but they're almost identical cars.
I was trying to make it sound like he
drove it across the ocean.
Yes, so they float. So he was here, and he and Brad were just unbelievable. There was a 592 and a 598 pass.
Wow,
unbelievable! And the 598 pass won.
So did he enter ASA?
Yes, he won.
Wow.
Yeah. He won it. So
That's almost like cheating, though.
oh.
With his car. Hey, he's
we did the cruise. He did the cruise with us.
Well, it's just drag and drive car. I mean, he's done 1,000 miles in that car.
Oh my gosh.
Not that he's finished 1,000, but he's tried to go 1,000 miles. Yeah.
So how many people came to the event this year? How many actual racers, not spectators and stuff?
I can't remember the racers. It's usually around 100 cars total, but I also invite V8 guys, and I had 2 classes of motorcycle classes. I want something on the track all day long. I want entertainment.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, you go to some of these events and there's 3 classes and there's an hour break while they clean the track and go eat. You know, we had nonstop from 2:00 till we finished, I think, at 9 on the track.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful.
So much fun, you know, and I get a lot of sponsors that help me. The only way I could do it.
Oh, sure. You have a ton of sponsors.
That's how I can give away $20,000 purses. You know, I learned early on, if I'm sitting there watching the gate going, oh, there's another $15 coming in. All right. I'm getting so close.
Yeah. I'm so close to being out of the red.
Now I've got it with the sponsorships and the giveaway car that when I leave my house, the event's paid for.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
And I'm not worried, and it just makes it so much easier.
Oh yeah,
So,
you can enjoy the event
Exactly.
rather than watching.
Right.
The
His events are a party. I mean,
that was always been my motto. It's a party with a drag race.
Yeah, it's a party with a drag race.
We feed everybody at the end of the night. This year we did a full barbecue spread. Some guys brought their trailer, cooked it right there, like barbecue, green beans.
All right, so next year we got to put this event on the calendar. Maybe we can go down there. We can do the podcast live from there. We can eat some barbecue.
We'll do something.
Maybe win a car and I can drive it home.
Deliver this engine that I just came to pick up.
Yeah, leave it here.
You really want to wait a year?
Yeah, you don't want to wait that long.
One year we were doing drag night. I think it was 13 or so, and crazy storm came through in July.
I don't understand.
Crazy.
Why is your show a magnet tour for a storm?
Well, because of July. So moving it to April, we were hoping would kind of alleviate that. I'm sitting there with the purse that I didn't pay out, and I was like, I got to do something with it. So I created a secondary show, which I hosted in November. So I called that Germanaire. The weather's completely different, cooler. Yeah. It was closer to Thanksgiving. We did a full Thanksgiving dinner at the track that year. Wow. So everybody's like, hey, we love the Germanaire.
Feed the homeless.
Yeah. They said, we love this November show, so you got to do both now. And I was like, oh, crap. So that was, I think I just had my 10th one maybe, but I do it.
And what track is that at?
Same track.
Same track.
So it's the same show.
So you do the VW drag night in the earlier season, and then in later season you do this event called Germanaire.
So it's the last event of the year, basically, for everybody.
Yeah. Dude, that is freaking cool.
So we have, same thing. I give away a couple cars.
Why do you have to live in freaking Carolina?
We drove up here yesterday. It's not that far. One shot.
He did it in one day.
I don't know. You told me about your drive, and it sounded miserable.
Scott drove all the way from South Carolina here in one shot, 18 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just to be on the podcast.
Yeah. Yep. Just for this podcast. Because we're awesome.
Yeah. That's fantastic. You were saying you had money left over from drag night.
Right.
Now that's from last year's drag night?
Well, that was last year, so 2023.
Right.
So I rolled that over, and I was able to pay out $23,000 in November for my Germanaire show. So I love, when you hand somebody $5,000
here you go.
for winning. Pat Downs has been here and won pro stock.
When I went to your show to race my pro stock, and Pat Downs was there. It was a big deal.
Did you win?
No, I made it into JD though.
Freaking loser.
I made it.
Hey, as long as you make money,
I made it into the money rounds, and shout out to JD for sponsoring a little bit of my effort going out there, and I had a good time. That might have been the end of my marriage, but that's a different story.
That happened way before the race.
That happened when we got married. So, but yeah, we had a good time. But it's like I really have to think hard to go to your show because it's expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gone a week.
Yeah.
It's 2 days here, 2 days back.
The very beginning, when I did it in July, I set it up as a vacation so people could come with their families.
Right, we did. We visited the ships in the harbor, and we stayed at a KOA with a cabin.
Okay.
And this cabin had like swamp front.
Sounds romantic.
Swamp view.
Yeah, it had a view of the swamp. It had signs. do not swim. There's
Do not feed the alligators.
yeah, there's alligators here. You can paddleboard in it, but don't swim in it. I'm like, there's alligators.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You know, it was a good time.
So, you know, starting back then in 2009 and 10, when everybody was coming, and then I would throw a party at my house on the Monday. We still do that.
That party at your house is off the chain. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, through the years,
Scott catered it and everything.
Yeah, oh yeah. So through the years, the people that brought their kids for beach vacations, those kids are grown up, and now those kids have kids. So that was one of the reasons why I was able to move it from July, because it wasn't the big family vacation as much anymore afterwards.
Right.
So I moved it to April.
Well, you have to like to drive out there for 2 days and 2 days back and just race on that one day.
Right.
It's not going to happen. Right. You got to make something else out of this. And we had a good time. I had to go pick up my crew chief, Glenn. He didn't come with us. He flew out there. So I had to pick him up at the airport.
Yeah.
And he hung out with us for a day for the race. And then I take him back to the airport so he could fly back. You know, he's got kids and stuff, you know, little kids back then. And we made a, you know, we hung out, we went go-kart racing, we did a bunch of stuff. It was fun, but
It's
it was
a fun area.
It was spendy. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Quit knocking it. No, it was the cheapest, most exciting event ever.
yeah. It was. I'm glad I went. I'll say that much. And
This guy is shit talking.
I would go again in a heartbeat. That's for sure.
All right, it's in November.
I'll be there.
15, 16.
Yeah. What's your address? I'm staying at your house.
Yeah, come on.
All right. So what are in November for the Germanaire?
Yep.
Sorry, so I don't mess that up. Germanaire night. So what are the classes, or how does this race break down?
So normally I do your normal bracket classes. We have Dragon Booties, which is all girls.
Okay.
Pro and Super Pro. ASA is always there. And
Pro Stock.
we did Pro Stock this past April. I don't know if y'all have always not come in November just because it's a little bit colder. So,
Right, yeah.
So normally don't do the ECPRA.
Yeah, I have to dig the trailer out of the snowbank.
Right. So we do.
To take off.
I do a gambler's class, you know, and that includes anybody, V8s, whatever. Let them come race.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
you know, I'll end up having 40, 50 of those guys at the
So that's
track.
what 7-8 classes, huh?
Right. We did 9 this
9.
April.
Wow.
In one day, 9 classes.
Oh my.
And they nailed it back to back to back, and we got them all in. So
Wow.
Yeah. That's
if
a
you're
nice.
efficient, you can do it. So
Yeah.
All right, so you have a big party. So you come down there, you got a big party before the event.
So Friday night we get to the track, we do a test and tune. I do an instant green race on Friday night. So instant green is green light go. You don't have any idea when it's
They
coming.
pull the bulbs out.
Yep. And it's
I like that.
and it's a dial in, so it could be it could be a 14-second car and a 6-second car, right? And the 6-second car is just sitting there like 8 seconds.
Yeah, I'm watching this guy just
Right.
drive away. I've raced in some of those where there's a 6 or 7 second deficit, you know, and you're there, and the guy's almost at a finish line.
Yeah.
Before you're taking off, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm never gonna catch this guy, and you just start screaming up on him and pass him up, and like, oh no, I'm going too fast.
So we do that on Friday, and that's a $2,500 first place.
Really?
I paid $2,500 out for that.
Wow.
And that's fun. So then Saturday's the event party afterwards, and then my house party is usually on Monday. Give everybody a day to rest, get to their house, and Monday night we have a party. So
Yeah, you need a vacation after that.
and normally that's what I would do. I would go to Folly. So I didn't get to do that this year.
Right.
And I finished on Saturday night at the track, and I'm leaving it at 10 or 11 o'clock to go home because I had a wedding to DJ Sunday afternoon.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No,
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we rolled in, and you were DJing at a bar. You were doing your karaoke or whatever it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably the band. That might have been the band back then, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah, fantastic.
I like to entertain everybody if they come to hang out and race with me. So
Okay, so we got the dates for Germanaire. Right?
Germanaire will be November 15th and 16th in what city, town?
Orangeburg, South Carolina, South Carolina Motorplex.
And where can they find the information?
Yeah, the website, right?
Germanaire.com.
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 E at the end.
Don't forget
Yeah.
that E.
Yeah.
Are you on Facebook also?
Yep. I have a couple pages for both events.
Germanaire and also
Germanaire.
the
And-
VW Drag Night.
Yeah.
BW Drag Night both have Facebook pages. And how else can they get a hold of you
Yeah,
guys?
what's your DJ business in case I wanted to hire you?
So just my name, DJ Scott Sain. So that keeps me busy as can be. I mean, it's like 9 or 10 gigs a week right now. So not this
well, with
week.
your
well, it's summertime, so everybody's
Right.
getting married now.
Well, they're
Oh,
getting-
and Charleston is like a #1 destination wedding area. We do weddings year round.
yeah,
So
but you also do your karaoke and your
right
your
trivia,
bands and
karaoke,
trivia.
band retired. So I try to work every night if I can.
Yeah.
So, and I've told this to other DJs. If you're out in the public eye, they know about you when it's time to book a wedding DJ or a Christmas party. So I do karaoke Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm in the bars, in the restaurants, whatever.
Yeah, and they take your card and.
Yep. So it keeps me really busy with that, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. You're interacting with people and singing, and
oh, sure. Your name gets out there. That's fantastic.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you very much for being on this episode. This was awesome that you drove all the way up here just to do this.
Yeah, drove 18 hours just to do the podcast.
Nothing else, not the other wedding or the motor. It was just for this.
What's the pay for the talent? I didn't see the email about it.
The bottle of water right in front of you.
Yeah, you got a sticker.
Yeah, I mean,
what more did you want?
We'll give you 2 stickers.
So the reason Scott came, one of the reasons he stopped at my place was to visit me.
Yeah.
And the other reason was to pick up the motor I built for him. It's a 4-inch bore water boxer conversion that he dropped off 90% of the parts and said, here, make something out of. And when did you drop it off? It was like
September, I think.
September.
I shipped it all up. It was like...
Yeah, he shipped it up in multiple boxes. I'm like, what is all this stuff? And I'm like, I gotta make a motor run out of this, but it's cool. It's got JPM heads and 4-inch pistons and a water boxer that had most of the work done to it already. So that was pretty nice. But now it's strapped down in the back of his pickup truck, so it's ready for its ride back to South Carolina.
Yeah. I just got to find something to put it in. So.
Yeah, now you just got to build a car.
Yeah, I'll do that.
maybe your Germanaire giveaway car. There you go.
That would be crazy.
Ticket prices just went up.
Yeah. Now it's
he's got to pay Prescott's bill.
Yeah, it's $2,000 a ticket.
Well, very cool. Thank you very much for being on the episode. If you guys got any questions or comments about the show, please feel free to reach out to us at bcbugtalk@gmail.com, or they can find us on Facebook at Brew City Bug Talk. Or you can check us out on Instagram at Brew City Bug Talk. Or you can check us out on YouTube.
Yeah, we also have YouTube. Our shows are on YouTube, but it's just there's no video. There's
no
just
video.
Nobody needs to see these faces.
No, nobody wants to look at us. We'll just put up pictures of the cars and stuff we're talking about.
Yes,
yeah.
cats.
Cat videos get more hits.
Yeah, cat videos are where it's at.
All right, well, thank you very much, and have a good day.
All right, peace out.
Don't forget to check out VW Trends magazine for all the latest trends in the Volkswagen scene. Check them out at www.vwtrendsmagazine.com.